Hello, No Borders NBDR followers. Joseph Snyder, CEO of No Borders, coming to you on this beautiful Thursday in June. And I am just bringing you a light touch update. We're touching on a few different things, and you'll see me wear a couple of different shirts as we jump through the different projects that we're working on. We're also going to be cutting over live. I'll be live with them, but we're going to be cutting over live to New Mexico, where Nick and some of the operations team has a pop-up store running currently in New Mexico. So we'll be bringing them in, say hello to everybody, and share a little bit about what we're doing throughout the No Borders organization. So as always, thank you guys so much for joining me today. Thank you for watching this video series and staying up to date on our company. My job is to help grow this business strategically, and part of that job is to make sure that we are communicating and staying in contact with and addressing the concerns of our followers and our shareholder base. So that's you guys. So thank you so much for taking the time to pay attention to this and for following our journey. It really does mean a lot to me personally and to us as a company. Moving on into the company information, everything is chugging along. You know, there's not a stratospheric bomb that I'm going to drop today. You know, we do have some news that we're working on and pulling some things together. But the fact of the matter is that we're in operations mode on quite a few things at the moment, and that takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of focus to do that. So we're staying current, we're staying active, we're updated on all of our financials. We are moving forward aggressively, and we're growing the businesses that we have. For Medident Supplies in particular, Medident has been growing and growing. You know, we have seen positive growth week over week, month over month, quarter over quarter. It's really fantastic, and it's continuing to grow. We are actively hiring customer service and salespeople for Medident. We are growing, in addition to the digital model, we are growing the client engagement model and the sales model there in a very aggressive fashion this quarter. And so Medident is one of those things that we're going to continue working on. We're going to continue being focused on, and you know, it is a long-term play for us to build a brand in this dental space and to bring that brand to scale. But we are aggressively working on it, and it is growing and it is scaling, and it's been a lot of fun so far. As far as No Borders, from the public company side of things goes, everything is running. We are staying active on all of our operations. We are staying active on all of our filings. We are continuing to work with all of our securities attorneys and financial advisors and everything to make sure that we're setting ourselves up to scale properly, that all of these various financial structures and all of the sales and all of the things that we're doing, all these cost of goods sold, there's all of these moving pieces around these different parts of our ecosystem as a company that is running multiple companies. And so we are making sure that all of those systems are in place as a good operating base for us to be able to continue to grow and scale. And I think that we are doing all of the things that need to be done, and as many of them at the same time as we can possibly do, and they're being done as quickly as they can. And so I'm very proud of the work that we're doing there. Of Andrew Coldicott and Brian Campbell over at Now CFO, and Cynthia Tanabe, and all of the people who work together to make sure that this information and is compiled and is correct, that we're staying as a lean operating company, and that we're really putting our best foot forward for all of our stakeholders, of which I am one. So right there with you. With that being said, let's jump over right now to Nick and his team. They're in New Mexico at the moment. They are hosting a No Borders Naturals booth in New Mexico, pop-up store there. And let's jump over and say hi to them and talk to them and see what's going on over there for a minute. And then we'll talk about some No Borders Naturals stuff too. Hey guys, so now to talk about No Borders Naturals, we are actually going live chat over with Nick. Hey Nick.
Hey, how's it going, Joe?
So Nick is currently in New Mexico, and he's been running around helping us manage some pop-up stores for No Borders Naturals. I unfortunately can't be there myself this weekend, but Nick, tell us a little bit about what you've been doing.
Yeah, so this is actually our second show in about 2 weeks. We're in New Mexico now, but last week we had an awesome event in Provo, Utah. We had a bunch of people running marathons, half marathons, 10Ks and 5Ks. And before the race, everybody was, either a little shaky or had some aches and, achy, breaky joints. So we were dishing out a whole bunch of product there. Had a raffle. I mean, everybody was loving it. I mean, some people were training really hard for this event, just giving them the gummies before sleep, or, throwing some lotion and some rubs on those caps was really making all the difference. And, we saw the same people the next day where they were like, hey, we just run 26.2 miles and we're going to need some more of that. So
we're going to need some more of that.
Yeah, we met a ton of great people. The weather was awesome. And, being at the finish line in an event like that where everybody's just doing something so amazing and, just promoting wellness after that with, just all natural products made right here in the U.S. And people were loving this stuff, throwing it on calves, meeting great people, and, just all in all, just giving people a great recovery after that event. Really, really good time.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So coming from Utah, you've been on the road a lot for us, which we appreciate. I know you're having a great time.
Having a good time with it.
You've got a few other team members out there. You've got Hope out there with you. You've got Brandon out there with you.
Yeah.
So show us a little bit of your space. What are you working with there?
Yeah, absolutely. So today we're in New Mexico. We're at a dental show here. So we have our product all laid out. We have Hope over there. She's actually in action talking to some people. We have Big Brendan here too. Brendan's doing a great job. We got a whole bunch of setup here. So totally good crowd today. I mean, people have been loving all the product. This is the first day, so we've been putting a bunch of stuff on some, hygienists. They get that kind of lean over there, so they get the tense muscles. We've been putting that on a lot.
Creaking
the neck, using the scalers. So we're definitely expecting to see a lot of people come back tomorrow too. I mean, people have been hyped today as it is. They've been loving it. We gave away some raffles today, and expecting to do one more at the end of the day, 5:30. And I mean, just all in all, great crowd here in New Mexico.
No, that's awesome. And, I'm really proud of all of the work that the logistics teams and you guys, the ground teams, have been doing, with these pop-up stores around the country, bringing the product line to the masses and directly engaging with people. You've been doing such a great job, and I know you're racking up those airline miles.
Yes.
I know you're racking up those miles, but thank you so much. I'm glad that we were able to jump in with you. I know that you've got a ton of work to do, so we're not going to keep you forever. But thanks for taking the time, and thank you for the work that you're doing on the ground around the country for No Borders Naturals and sharing these brands. Have a wonderful time in New Mexico, and we'll see you soon.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thanks to everybody for stopping by at all our events too. We'll be putting out a list of future events. So thanks for everybody, and we'll see you soon.
Thanks, man. Bye-bye.
No problem. Bye.
So everybody, we're going to, kind of continue on. I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about some of the things that No Borders Naturals is doing in addition to the stuff that Nick's, got going on there on the ground today in Albuquerque. We have been growing our events side, our pop-up store side of the business, and testing different things. That is going really, really well, and is got a lot of growth drivers built into it for us. It's a lot of lead generation. It's a lot of list generation. It's a fairly aggressive way to build an on-the-ground presence and email list. And we've had great success with that all the way around. So we've really expanded that program and been working on expanding that program very, very aggressively. At the same time, we did just recently announce our wholesale program for No Borders Naturals. That has had a fantastic response. We've had a large amount of inbound interest and lead generation coming in, signing up for the wholesale program and wanting the info on it. We have multiple locations that are live and active that have ordered inventory through the wholesale program and have been approved through the wholesale program and have product on shelves today around the country through the wholesale program. So we will be updating that more and bringing more information about that through, but we will start to see those impacts in revenue growth from wholesale in both Q2 and the end of Q2 and then moving on into Q3 of this year. So It's been all gas. We have been running really, really strongly across all of our social media, across our events, across B2B, wholesale. We are actively adding customer service and sales support staff to our teams right now. I am, and the executive team is currently doing multiple interviews per day in adding service and sales support staff. So we are growing these things very, very quickly. We are using a lot of technology to support that. The stuff that No Borders Labs has been doing, like doing the crypto integrations. And on the crypto integrations, we have taken multiple orders in crypto already. So we're past the 0 to 1 barrier there. And that is something that was built in as part of this core foundational belief that we have around these future Web3 technologies, blockchain in particular, as a security and payment and transparency method for supply chains and for payment processing things. So putting that foot into the real world and transacting real world business in cryptocurrency is definitely a part of the play for us. Naturals is doing that today, and we're very, very proud of that fact. So, these things we've been, pushing and pushing and pushing a lot of different fronts, and we're really starting to see traction. We've got systems and operations in place. I'm personally, in California and managing just a myriad of things today, and our event teams are running and events are going on in different places. We are covering multiple states. We are impacting multiple different regions, and all of that is all happening at the same time. So just having a fantastic time with it, to be totally honest with you. It is growing very, very well, and we're supporting it with the things that we believe are going to drive the most impact and the most results, with the least amount of headwind and the least amount of competition, and that's what we're going for. Currently very proud. There are some keyword sets that No Borders Naturals is now organically ranking first through third on Google for. So there's some sets around, the gummy products and the almond products and our dog products that the No Borders Labs teams have worked very hard to make sure that we're attacking directly with SEO and this kind of work, because still on No Borders Naturals, we cannot use a lot of the traditional pay-per-click Facebook ads, Google ads type of mediums to reach our contacts, to reach our prospects. Those options just aren't currently available to us because of the way that those companies have their rules set. And so being able to engage and being able to get boots on the ground and get that engagement and do outreach engagement for these, and then utilize the tools that we can utilize, and utilize things such as search engine optimization to make sure that we're standing out in very particular ways and for very specific searches, puts us in a position to generate that inbound traffic and generate that additional lead flow off of the internet. And we're not actually paying for that on a pay-per-click basis. And we're not actually, so the customer acquisition cost on that over time is very, very low. So those are really positive things. And, the product line is continuing to grow. We have fantastic feedback from, the entire product line. And people engage with the Naturals product line. They use it, they love it, and they come and reorder again. We have a very, very solid reorder rate. We're seeing a lot of re-engagement and a lot of customer repurchases. So love all of that. Just when you're in the trenches building a product line, and when you've got something that when people use it, they experience an improved result in their life, in their discomfort, these kinds of tangible impacts on people's lives, like we have with No Borders Naturals. It's very fulfilling to have that client engagement where people come back and just are gushing about how impactful it was. And I gush myself, I know, so y'all have heard me, but to be able to share that and to be able to have that be our current reality with a product line that we're very, very proud of, and to have these people come back and share it with their friends and also purchase it again for themselves is the greatest testament to the fact that we've really built a fantastic product line here, and that these things are really, really beneficial. So thrilled about everything that's going on with the company overall, but specifically in this shirt, in my sleep dealer shirt. You know, I'm actually going to turn around this time so you can see it. See, it's got the flower on the back. Yeah. In this shirt, specifically talking about No Borders Naturals, we are firing on all 8 cylinders. It is going very, very well. We are very up to speed on everything that's going on with, you know, all of the regulations around what you can and can't say. You'll notice on our website and things around our ecosystem and our social media, we're very careful. We don't make a lot of claims. We're very, very conservative in what we talk about when we're talking about these things and these things that we're sharing. And so we are staying abreast of everything that's going on with the government and regulatory bodies and things like that. And we will continue to stay at the forefront of those things. And we will continue to do things like beginning to file our products with the state of Utah, which we're currently in the process of now, of actually registering our products and submitting our lab test results and doing all of these things to make sure that we're completely transparent and that we're completely compliant in all of the jurisdictions that we're working in. So it's a grand adventure. We are spreading wellness, and it is being spread and shared and engaged with like wildfire. So now that you've heard about kind of what's going on with No Borders Naturals and the things that we're doing over there, and said hello to Nick over in New Mexico, I did want to wrap up today's video with some information about some of the things that we are still working on that haven't necessarily been front and center over the last few cycles. Obviously, the things that are generating revenue come to the forefront. They get talked about a lot and all of these kind of things. But that's not necessarily all of the things that are being worked on. So we do have multiple projects that we are currently working on or continually working on, such as Aardvark Coding and No Borders Labs, and some of the things that we have in our ecosystem that aren't necessarily these things that are totally showing up in our operations side on an hour-to-hour basis and on these videos on a week-to-week basis, because they are things that get worked on, but they milestone out in longer steps, or they will come to fruition or bring results in longer time periods. And so you don't necessarily get as much immediate interaction with them all the time. So on No Borders Lab side, you know, we came to market with a belief around blockchain technology as a better way to do financial transactions, to do real estate lending, to do payments operations, including cryptocurrency style payments operations. We came to business with that belief and with the ability to build those things based on the experience sets that we have in our mix. That belief has never changed. What has changed was the way that we saw that belief panning out as a success for our company and our future in the long term. And what we saw there was that we wanted to own brands and companies that allowed us to use these technologies over time, that allowed us to accept cryptocurrencies over time, and allowed us to be a real world example of the technologies that we believe in, and allow us to present real world examples of these technologies being used so that other people could see that they're viable, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then there's the potential for selling technology, selling software, and selling solutions that maybe in these cases we actually built for ourselves. And that's a couple of things, right? It's ownership of the way. So if there's a system that comes out over the next year around the medical side that we can then license out to other medical providers or something like that, those are cool connect the dots sort of value trains, right? And in addition to that, there is this breadth of work around what does blockchain do? How do security token equity, how do security token and equity tokens work, and how do they get issued and things like that? Some of this has been done. There's a building in New York that was tokenized. There's real estate over here. Propi's doing some stuff, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So we're starting to get a base of law around these structures. And No Borders Labs is still taking consulting calls in concert with Media Shower and John Hargrave and our friends at Four Park over in Texas and Media Shower in Boston and this ecosystem that we are still connected to and working in and proactive with about how these things work and getting these things done. As recently as this week, Chris and I took a high-level phone call about a security token offering with a gentleman, and that's a No Borders Labs consulting contract kind of a deal that gets proposed and offered and all the kind of things that go along with that. And that can help push the top line revenue of the overall company as we bring those things on and everything else. But we didn't want to be in a position where that consulting revenue and that potential development revenue was the exclusive way that our organization sustained itself with revenue, right? Because it's open to a lot of whims, right? What's the SEC doing? What are the rules today? What are the rules tomorrow? There's a lot of variables there. And so we wanted to have a multiple set of income streams across the spectrum of our business. We wanted to be able to grow multiple different types of businesses, right? No Borders Naturals is primarily business to customer. Now we've got a wholesale division that's business to business. Metadent Supplies is primarily business to business. And as we grow out the sales team there, that's a direct engagement model and all kinds of other things there. No Borders Labs is primarily a consulting division. And then as that develops into those consultations turn into, hey, you know what, we need X, Y, and Z, then we can have those kind of adventures and conversations. No Borders Funding is designed to give us the ability to backstop capital and provide financing to the different divisions around our ecosystem. And then also looking at, is it time and are we in a position, do we want to issue a tokenized real estate type of a REIT sort of a structure? What are the structures that these things look like and how do we work within that? And how do we bring one of these things to market? Who are our partners on that? And what do those things look like? So all of these things are still in our ecosystems. All of these things are still getting attention and proactive work, not just the direct frontline web store, shiny web store product you can purchase today businesses like Metadent Supplies or No Borders Naturals. Those are part of the ecosystem, but we do have these other pieces of the ecosystem. And with maturity, with length of time, just like this high-level security token offering meeting that has now been referred over to securities attorneys to review and validate and say, okay, here's the legal path of filings that need to happen to make this happen before technology can be built or things can be deployed. But that comes after years now of us being in the space and being subject matter experts and operating our businesses in the real world and saying, we accept cryptocurrencies. We, are using these things and are planning to use these technologies, and we're operating in the real world, and we've done our research about this, and we know about this, and so people are coming to us and saying, well, I believe I want to do this as well, and we're saying, great. If you do, here's the roadmap, here's the steps, and here's how we can serve, and here's how we can help. So we've got a few irons in the fire. We're having a great time. And this company is growing. Our revenues are growing. Our profit margins off of those revenues, our gross profit margins off of those revenues are growing. And we are aggressively attacking our ground games and really working to make sure that we are absolutely putting the best foot forward and making the best decisions on behalf of the company in the most aggressive way that we can. And so I appreciate you guys tuning in to these videos. It does mean so much to me. You can find us nbdr.co for the website. Our investor relations page is there. These videos do live on YouTube. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. As always, you can find me on Twitter at nbdrceo and all of the companies on Twitter and on Facebook. Thank you guys so much and have a wonderful summer.